Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me in another video. So I recently stumbled across this article from Fashion Magazine and it listed off the it bags we are currently seeing right now in 2025. Of course it is only May 2025, but they talk about some upcoming bags, so I thought it was worthwhile going through. I am someone who really enjoys handbags. Rarely would I say I'm someone that always has like the it bag of the time. There have been some bags I've picked up that were popular for the brand, but I feel like the only real like it bag I've ever owned that had sort of like an it status is probably the Row Margot. That's probably one of the rarer occasions, but I always love seeing new bags. What are the bags of the time? But I think I'm always someone that actually likes to wait the trend out, and if past the trend I still love the bag, then I'll bite. The Margot was a bit of a different exception in that it was a bag that actually suited my lifestyle and it just worked with my aesthetic. That was probably one of, I think, the more rare occasions where I've purchased a bag that was what would be described as like an it bag. But for instance, the last bag I just purchased was the Row 11 backpack. Now, this was a style that was probably at its peak over a decade ago, but it's a style I've always liked. But when I saw it on the pre-love market, it was in a material and design that suited me. It's more so like in those kinds of situations I find myself buying bags. But are you someone that likes to hop on a bag right away? Do you like to wait it out, or do you like to wait for like a seasonal version even that like suits your style? Please let me know down below. But let's just get into this list here. So the first bag that they mention, this isn't a new style at all. This is the Balenciaga La City bag, probably one of the most iconic styles. But yeah, interesting that this is at the top of the list. I don't think this list is in any particular order though. It's just kind of listing it bags. This is one of the most iconic it bags of all time. I remember a period a couple years ago, maybe just right after the scandal, Balenciaga bags were really not as in, wasn't something that a lot of people were buying into. Many people did not want to be associated with the brand, and actually a lot of people were selling off their Balenciaga bags. But what I also noticed at the time was a lot of young people, a lot of Gen Z people on TikTok, they scooped up these bags. They bought these bags for a great price, and then it seemed like it had like this resurgence again. And this was not a style created by Demna. This is a Nicolas Gasquier creation from 2001, and again, it is one of the most iconic it bags of all time, famously worn by Kate Moss. But throughout the 2000s, it felt like every it girl of that period had that bag. And I think Balenciaga, when they reintroduced this bag, they kind of played off this idea. There was like a whole campaign where these influencers were seated at a fashion show and sort of like played on this idea of the it bag, the it girl wearing the it bag. It does have this like edgy it girl style. Like it has the studs, the buckles, the straps. It has this very like worn in, cool girl look. Very Nicolas Gasquier, but it also I think works well with the Demna aesthetic. And I think aesthetically it also just really works for 2025. Now, of course, Demna is going to Gucci. It was just announced Pier Paolo Piccioli is going to be the new creative director of Balenciaga. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to the brand. I do think they're going to keep this bag. I don't think this bag is going anywhere. I think it has kind of become that kind of edgy, cool girl, it girl bag. But it'll be interesting to see if the brand takes on a new direction. It'll be interesting to see what the bags will look like in 2026. Next, we have the Miu Miu Adventure bag, and this is definitely a style I see on social media. It has all the defining elements of bag styles in 2025. It has that east-west proportion, but there's also that tote variation. It has that belted strap. It has a nice slouch. It has that kind of lived-in look that's very now. It comes in a top handle as well as a shoulder style variation. It has an assortment of beautiful browns and neutral colors, leathers and suedes. It's made with this antique hardware. It has this very like throwback look. It even states archive 2009, and it does feel like it's channeling 2009. Another thing about this bag is it's often decked out in bag charms. And Miu Miu and Balenciaga, we saw how they really emphasized this trend on their runway shows in 2024, and that is still a major trend in 2025. It's definitely a style very well loved by the cool girls, the influencers. This has not been a style I've been tempted by. I actually do like that belted feature though. A style I've always wanted was a bag from Celine, the big bag. bag, which is like a bag you can only find on the pre-loved market. If money were no object, I would love a Kelly flat, but I also think I'm actually quite content with my Hermes Her bag, which is again more of a casual top handle style, but it does have that belted feature. I get the appeal with a bag like this. While it hasn't been something I've been tempted by, I do see like why a lot of features on this bag are popular. The next bag is another, I would say, it bag of 2025, and it is the Chanel 25 bag. This is another style I cannot escape seeing in 2025. It's been worn on Dua Lipa, Jenny, a lot of influencers. I will say I didn't love the style when I first saw it on the runway. As I see it more, the more I think, oh wow, I really like how that bag is styled. Like it's like more so the styling that I think looks really cool, or just kind of that like effortless, like carefree but chic way of wearing this bag is one I'm gonna pass on. I also just think the prices of Chanel are just too much for me to like fathom spending in 2025. The design features aren't something I'm drawn to, but I think it is quite now. A bag that you wear over your shoulder, it's slouchy, it's got those utility side pockets, that cinched drawstring with that CC logo. So it has a lot of the features of bags that are very now. I don't think this is really like aesthetically the style for me, but I will say it does look cool when I see a lot of these gals wear it. So next we have the Chloe Paddington. So this was actually a bag that we saw on the runway for fall winter 2025. It is a bag that you can pre-order at this point, but again, like the Balenciaga City bag, it has, I think, gained a lot of popularity on TikTok on the pre-loved market. This is more something that was popular on TikTok, and it's gained a lot of traction. And I would say like about a year ago, these bags would go from anywhere 100 to 200, maybe like 300, depending on the condition and color. More and more people have been wearing them, and the predictable thing about fashion right now is every time a bag reaches that 20-year anniversary point, it's almost likely that that brand, if it was like a popular it bag, more than likely the brand is going to reissue that. But it is also very in line with this whole boho resurgence we've been seeing. Chloe has come back, and while it wasn't, I would say, a brand that a lot of people were talking about, since Chimena Kamali presented her version of boho, it's become very appealing in the 2020s, like mid 2020s. Of course, this is actually just Phoebe Philo creation from when she was the creative director, but it checks off all the boxes. It has an east-west silhouette. It's a slouchy style, big hardware. Those like very mid-2000s hardware details, studs, that like massive buckle, which is also in trend, like that kind of mid-2000s boho style. But again, we're also seeing a lot of bags reissued in 2025. And next we have the Coach Brooklyn. Again, this is another popular it girl bag. Of course, it's been worn on Bella Hadid, Charlie XCX. I will also say, in all the years I've been on YouTube, I think Coach this past year, I don't think I've ever seen so many Coach bags unboxed or like promoted on my For You page, be it like the Empire style or that Kiss Lock bag. Like they've had several bags that have gone viral. Of course, the Brooklyn, it also speaks to a lot of the styles of the time. Slouchy hobo, very casual, often advertised with bag charms. Another thing Coach is known for, their bag charms, which also speaks to that trend. And the other thing about Coach is these bags, they're not going to break the bank. I think this is another theme that we're seeing in 2025. Many consumers, they're sick and tired of these price increases, but then it always feels like these brands are declining in quality, or at least it doesn't feel like the quality isn't what it used to be. So Coach, I think, is really filling this market, offering very current styles at a fraction of what most of these bags on this list are going for. Next we have the Kate Simona bag, and here they're showing Sophia Richie wearing this bag. It was a style that debuted in 2024, I would say probably around the same time as the Alaya Latecal. It's a very cool style, very chic, very sleek, but again, it has that very extreme, exaggerated east-west proportion. Can be worn as a shoulder bag. So I think in general, this kind of style, though, it's very much in. Definitely is on the trendier side, but if you're somebody that like really loves these east-west bags, there's a lot on the market right now, and it is definitely still a hot trend in 2025. So yes, that's the list. Are there any bags that you thought deserved to be here? Of course, it's really just the end of May 2025, but are there any bags that you anticipate will be hot for 2025? I would have thought Murakami would have been here, honestly. I also thought perhaps like the Speedy would have made this list. I think about how prevalent the Speedy was featured at the Met Gala. It's a very classic bag, of course, but we're seeing it come out in various iterations. It's definitely one of the bags Louis Vuitton is heavily pushing right now. But did any of these bags speak to you? Is there a non-trendy bag you're into? Or maybe you're just shopping your own closet, because a lot of these styles are reissues of the past. That's my video for today. Thank you so much for joining me in another one, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!